Hey folks, welcome back to Xuan Yuan 7. I am the Mysterious JG. This game might be called Xuan Yuan 7 Sword. we've pointed that out before. So, doing a little session here, gonna try to get in a couple of videos. Right before I started recording, I gotta say, this game and Neo 2 have become the two games that I'm just not that engaged with right now, and I'm far enough in, I want to finish them for my channel, but I allow myself to get distracted with other things when I had set aside time to play these games, and it's tough for me to get in. And playing this game for only like 2 videos or so at a stretch, I just have this really disconnected, I don't get into the game before it's time to set it down again, and this is all meta channel stuff that you might not care about, but I found myself, instead of playing this game earlier, I was going down like a YouTube, just like rabbit hole of random recommended videos, and there's something very manipulative about the way that YouTube videos are marketed, and like, you know, I watched a video from some Star Wars lore channel where the hook was, you know, because I guess canon is a big deal for Star Wars fans, right? And I am somebody who grew up with the original trilogy and liked them, and then I'm aware of what's going on in the prequels because I'm a big fan of riff tracks and some of their, I think what really helped them latch on and get a new audience going, the Star Wars prequels really helped establish them as a brand, because the notion that people would go out and buy these MP3s when it didn't come with a movie and they had to buy the movie. The Star Wars prequels were a big thing for them. But I've gotten back into Star Wars recently as a result of my niece being into the Clone Wars cartoon stuff and other material that I would not have ever become familiar with otherwise. And none of this has anything to do with Xuan Yuan 7, so skip ahead a couple minutes if you really don't care. But I ended up watching this video on the time an Imperial officer received a duty call from Emperor Palpatine at 2 a.m. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a zany story of like... But no, it was this really flatly kind of delivered, serious... It was just some guy going through a whole plot line from the Star Wars comics from back in the day that had to do with Darth Vader trying to hunt down a Jedi, and the Emperor had ordered him to stop wasting time with the Jedi and concentrate on other matters. But, you know, Darth Vader had this personal thing about the Jedi, and he had some, and this was the funniest part, was that he had an Imperial officer who'd found something useful named Lieutenant Greg. He really was. The character's name was Lieutenant Greg, spelled with 2 G's to make it more, or like G-R-E-G-G to make it more spacey. But the character's name is Lieutenant Greg, so I'm learning about this character and this plot line that happened, and it sounds like it's a silly thing where the Emperor calls a guy at 2 in the morning, is like, I need someone to come in here, and you know, my sleeping chambers are too unpleasantly warm. Send someone in to fan me while I sleep. But no, it's like, there's a real storyline where this guy was working at 2 in the morning tracking down information for Vader, and the Emperor called this guy directly to find out what was going on, and then, you know, whatever, set up some whatever. After I watched that, I get sucked in because the next recommended video is called The Most Controversial Article in the History of Wikipedia. And it's like 20 minutes long, but I can't help myself. I'm like, okay, well, I'll find out. In the first few minutes, I'll find out what it is, and then I'll decide whether I feel like watching the rest of it. So obviously, it takes 5 minutes to get to the fucking point, because all these YouTube clickbait videos, they just like keep you there. They didn't at least talk about, like, this one didn't open with a commercial for something, like with the actual content creator talking about, you know, Squarespace or whatever. So I appreciated that, but they it takes forever. It's talking about Wikipedia and what a great resource it is and blah, blah, blah. And then it starts talking about, you know, there are different types of disagreements amongst Wikipedia readers. And sometimes, you know, I personally have gone in and edited Wikipedia, and you're like, okay, here we go. Yeah, when they finally get to the point, 5 minutes in, the most controversial article in the history of Wikipedia is the article called Breasts. Because there's an article on Wikipedia called Breasts. And it has a controversial picture. And I guess all Wikipedia articles are broken up between a canon section and a legends section, which has non-canon works. And the canon web page just doesn't have much to it. Because why the fuck would there be a Wikipedia article on breasts? But the canon the legends web page has a fan, obviously, or not. I guess maybe it was official, but it's an art picture from something. It's not even part of the comics, of just one of those women who has like the tentacle heads from like Jabba's palace, I think, an actual in-universe character with bare breasts exposed, and it's an article. So there's this 15 minutes of discussion, and by discussion I mean this got like the same couple of images being cycled through, plus this guy's channel logo. Talking about whether or not it's okay for there to be an article, and particularly this picture up on Wikipedia. and it got to the point where I was really fascinated. I couldn't turn away, because they were like, well, there are other things that are not particularly important to the Star Wars universe, that are obviously real things that exist in the Star Wars universe, but are not fundamental to your understanding of the Star Wars universe. Such as, arms and legs exist in the Star Wars universe. And they said in the past, people have made pages for things that, kind of jokingly, that the admins removed the pages because they were not necessary. And the example they gave was sand, which was fucking awesome. And at least you knew that this, like, oh god, this guy, I won't give his name. The guy has 100 times more subscribers than I do. So it's like a gnat bothering an elephant, I guess. But and I think in the Star Wars community realm of things, they're probably not that big a deal anyway. But they are showing footage of Padme and Anakin, romancing when they reference that there used to be a webpage about sand. So it's obvious that they know why that is and what the sand meme is. But I don't know, it's crazy because there's like I said, it's about 15 minutes of talking about it. And getting into the behavior of the mods and admins, and the bullying and the sexism, and like I paused. He had a screenshot of one of the admins talking about a user, and like I had to pause it and read the screenshot myself. It was amazing. It's like, I can't believe that anyone would listen to name deleted. He said, it makes me sick as a human being that their opinions are being. Like this nasty fucking fighting back and forth about whether or not to have a webpage called Breasts on Wikipedia. It was insane. And then at the end of all that, the big reveal, because the article was the most controversial in history, and they're talking about how this fan vote took place where they voted to keep it. And I wasn't following along, and I find out, oh yeah, that fan vote took place in 2007. So this is a 10-year-old controversy about a breast page. So I just wasted 5 minutes of your life, but I had to bring this to you guys. I was watching this for I was fascinated. Like, and I'm a nerd. I'm a massive nerd. I in general, I love and respect nerdom. I love and respect the ability to just get passionate about something fictional that doesn't matter, and just set aside a place in your heart to care about some silly little thing. It's a form of escapism. You can get away from real life concerns, things that you can't do anything about. You can set them aside and concentrate your mental energy on Star Wars or what the fuck ever. It's fine. But oh my god, the 10-year-old debate, and this guy was talking about how toxic and nasty and unnecessary all this was, and then at the end you find out he's digging up a 10-year-old argument. Oh, good grief. And his whole thing was that he didn't have a problem with there being a breast page. He understood the people who thought it was sexist because there was no penis page, and it's an overwhelmingly male community, and it's not helping them bring women. But his whole argument was, this picture of topless tentacle head lady was not from any canon story, so it doesn't belong on Wikipedia, and that was his argument, and why this was incorrectly decided 10 years ago on fucking Wikipedia. So in this game, which you presumably tuned in to see. We're supposed to be, we're really closing in on the end of things, I think. And I had assumed for a long, now I could be way wrong. Every instinct I have about storytelling is telling me that there's going to be a whole lot left of the game when we find this lady in green. When we find her and find out what's going on, she is not a bad guy, she's a good guy. That's what it sounded like for a long time. And when we find her, we'll figure out what's really going on, and she might even be a party member or something. I don't know. I don't know if it'll be to the good or to the bad in the end, but when I found out I found out this game is quite short, and I've already, in my own meandering style, I've already put more hours into this than like the how long does it take to beat suggests is typical to beat it without doing everything. I'm starting to think the game is going to be pretty much over when we meet her. And I don't know what to think. But I think we need to hurry up and meet her and see what's going on. Because I have this overwhelming sense we're about to wrap this thing up. But it's based entirely on some pre-information about how short the game is. Nobody has told me that the game ends abruptly or suddenly. The story seems to be flowing right along and not approaching an end. So let's see what's going on. And maybe if I shut up about Star Wars and boobs, we can get there. Does I have the ability to get back up if I go this way? That's the way I came from, so there's no reason to go there. Hey, you have boobs. No, not you, sister. I mean, you do too, but that's not where I was going with this. Doesn't appear to be any reason to be wandering over there. I guess we were expecting to find Madam here. Madam being the lady in green. I'm looking forward to meeting her. They've been building up the mystery for a long time. Oh, is this going to be one of those door puzzles? Yeah. So, Madam made the door? What's going on with our sister, anyway? I'd like to check it out. Okay. I think we just break it. But we have another puzzle. It's been a while since we've had a puzzle. Puzzles felt like they were going to be a big part of the game, and then we had a long stretch without them. And that puzzle, like that puzzle with the gate that got King, or Jinping, or whatever his name is, out of that was early in the game, and that seems to like feature in the title screen that pops up when you load the game. So I thought that kind of puzzle was going to be a big part of the game, and it has tapered off. Guigu Basin. It snowed back when we were on Mount Yidi. However, I was too weak at the time to venture outside. I sat at the window watching the snowflakes drift down, praying that brother would bring some home for me to play with. Oh, praying for that? You could have just asked him. As I took my first steps onto the silvery snowfield, my heart felt heavy, just like the snow, for all I could see was an endless white expanse. Not as much fun as you thought, huh? Is she back in our party? No, she's not back in our party yet. There's something going on with our sister where she's being possessed by the darkness or something. It's a little creepy. Alright, so we got a puzzle to solve here. Him talking is not going to help. Am I supposed to just be doing this based entirely on his... Yeah, I mean, he's gonna make it easy if he just keeps... If he gave us a clue, I didn't get it. At this point, all I'm doing is... If it reset, like, I can tell I'm wrong only when he tells me, and then I start over. Yeah, it's just process of elimination. It never involved any knowledge of anything other than, I guess in theory this represents some language I'm supposed to be able to understand, but no, it's just, I don't know why you always start with this one, but whatever, we got it. I wasn't not sure that I got that puzzle the way that, like, without the parrot it would have been a lot harder, but I would have got the same thing eventually. Be like, okay, if I hit this one it seems to start over, but if I hit this and this, like, just keep experimenting with it. There's no penalty for that, and you just keep going until, if you get more than one to open, you know you're on the right track, and if they all close, you know that you messed up, and you start over, and you brute force it. So, alright, we've got enemies in here, and they're exactly the same as the enemies we've been fighting. Yeah. Exactly. Now, this is my whole point, was like, well, we got the same monsters we've had everywhere else, although I'm not sure what they're doing in here, but... Oh, is this going to be a boss fight? Getting in the most trouble is when I have these backup folks poking me from behind, so that was fine. There we go. Soul of Dracon. That wasn't too bad. I had some nasty combat in the last video that really made me start to think I was doing something horribly wrong with fighting. So what is a Dracon? Dracon have no eyes and attack based on other senses, blah blah blah. So we fought this before. It is the... No, I was about to say it's the toughest thing that isn't a boss, because Taiwu comes next, but then we have... I guess it is considered... Taiwu is of the same category? I don't get it. Boggard, black hairs, and Dracons are the same general category of big weird monsters. Now, if you'll forgive me, I did a poor job of noting what time I started the video. After all that chatting about Star Wars, we've had 18 minutes of chatting about Star Wars and 1 minute of gameplay, so I have 10 minutes left to do. Okay. Yeah, but again, that one round of combat was just so freaking nasty that it really got me worried. But generally, combat in this game isn't too bad. And a big part of the problem is I wasn't focusing on any enemies. So I have to use the lock-on feature so I'm actually finishing things off. And there are rewards for defeating enemies beyond just having fewer targets. I think I've got something where I'm getting healed when I defeat enemies. Guess I just got a few young mistress, eh? You're a boggart. You're a lower version of that enemy we just fought. Yeah, alright. So what is this place exactly? It's just some kind of fort built into a mountain for the Moist guys that... But now they're saying that his mistress, the lady in green, built the locks? Like, I don't... I think some of this is a simple... There is a simple case of, oh, fuck. I'm trying to talk while I'm in the middle of combat here. Sorcerer ladies are dangerous. I need to get rid of her. Somewhere in all this, we got rid of Froggy, or it ran off. Hopefully, I can find it because I usually have. There we are. I don't think we're ever going to get... We got Breath of Earth for that. I don't think we ever get... Get 1,000 Xuan and Breath of Earth. I don't know if I could have gotten better things by Imprison or whatever. I think what I was starting to say before was there's a little bit going on with... This is my fault. I'm an amateur Let's Player. I do this for fun. Am I giving you the best experience you'll ever have with this game? Probably not. I'm having a hard time engaging with the story because it's in a foreign language with subtitles. And shame on me, I guess, but... Like, even if the voice acting wasn't, like, the highest quality ever... I wonder if I would be doing better if it was in English. And that being said, I play a lot of old games that are pre-voice acting as a main, ever-present feature, where... The guy I was trying to focus on, it would not let me focus on. Now I can focus on him, now that I've already got my butt kicked by another enemy. There we go. The Marrow Maws are being a problem. Because they are hitting me with this spell that depletes a lot of health, it seems like, with that little purple, whatever the hell it is, energy aura. And I don't seem to be able to... I'm having a very hard time forcing my character to focus on them. I guess there's Curse Weavers are even worse, but they are... They weep as they move, attacking any enemy who keep... Okay, it doesn't really tell you exactly what their spells do. I know I play lots of games, older games, where you don't have voice acting at all, and you just read the text, but I guess I'm used to that. Like, reading the text, the tiny, often illegible text, and having it advance whether you're done reading it or not, because the voice acting has already moved through the story. It's making it really easy for me to just not track what's happening in the story. Yeah, like that. A little too late with imprison there. Also, there's something about these modern games. Like, I'll talk to every villager in an old school RPG. This has nothing to do with the fact that this game's from Taiwan. I'll talk to every villager in an old school RPG. And in a modern game, where you have characters who are voice acted and then characters who are not, like, there's just something... It's not a conscious decision I'm making. I'm like, you're not voice acted, this isn't important, I won't talk to you. I'll talk to, like, you know... My, what a dirty face. Come, wash your face, lady from the first town in Final Fantasy. I won't talk to everybody in a more modern game. And a marrow maw. I don't know if she was... Ow! I guess I overestimated my ability to... You guys got some nice range stuff that's better than I expected. Oh, again, I keep trying to evade while, I'm forgetting you have to release the block button to evade. Oh, please don't tell me I have to redo all this stuff. Yeah, this game doesn't really do autos. I guess it does do autosaves, but not that often. I think we just lost everything since we came into the place. I get... Part of it is because I am playing this game in Neo 2, and they have different control schemes for evade. I keep wanting to use the dodging move, which is not that great in this game anyway, but trying to use it to get away from an enemy that has me cornered. And I just... Oh, fuck, I don't even... well, never mind. Okay, this is where I thought I was. It's just repeating a tiny bit of dialogue in here. Okay. So almost nothing was accomplished here except that door puzzle, which I even was complaining was a bit of a half-assed puzzle. So I am going to not fight these... Take care of all the sidekicks before you concentrate on the big guy. And remember to... I have to remember that I can't be hitting anything else while hitting the dodge button. Which doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to remember, but... Again, I'm alternating between videos of this and a different game with a very different control scheme, so that's the only excuse I have. So what's frustrating is that fight I just lost there was no harder than the one I just won. I just I dealt with enemies in a different sequence, and I had the hard-hitting guy take me out because I just... You know. Why did that happen, actually? 'Cause, yeah, usually dealing with you first is what I'm trying to get done to increase my overall chances. The smaller enemies, it usually is a good idea to just be on offense. Oh, are you just gonna stand there and let her fight you? Okay, now you're trying to get out there. No. Thank. Oh, she's throwing ranged bombs. It's not even like a. Not even taking the form necessarily of. Hold on a second. So I'm using area of effect. Yeah, that's what I thought I was using. Area of effect and yeah, I'm using the area of effect one, which I meant to be using because I was fighting clusters of enemies. Oh, I didn't notice you. Okay. Just spamming the big attack tends to just stun lock enemies around me, which is good. Shut up. Thank you. Okay. Because of where he was positioned, I had a unique ability to take him out before taking out the associate enemies, which I would normally want to do first. Okay. And again, I actually reminded myself while talking about my strategy, reminded myself to use the area of effect thing more than the straight up attack. Okay. Now there was a whole climbable thing. Just had a few minor loots up there. It'd be a shame to miss it since we got it last time. I don't suppose I already got everything. Got a soul of fortitude. I don't know that we faced that little frog again. I want to try to have an imprisoned saved up because if it's possible to get a soul of one of those guys, it's probably pretty valuable. This is just repeating. We've already been over here, haven't we? There was a thing to climb up on and get to an area that didn't really seem that secret. It just had more jars to smash. There's so much sameness about the way everything looks that it's kind of hard to keep straight in my mind. What have we already? What might I have missed? Somewhere on one of these there was the little, you can interact with this icon to climb up. like to do that again because I think, yeah, here it is. Does this take us to, this takes us to this thing. Could I already get to this from another way? Well, I mean, there's cypress wood that I didn't already get from somewhere else. Some money. Alright, it would appear that if this was a secret, it was a very minor one. Doesn't seem like I'm getting anything more out of that. It's alright. Doesn't seem to be falling damage. Well, I think we'd already established that. You either fall to your death or you either die or you don't. You don't really have any in between on that mechanic. Did I just... No, this is a different set of wooden stairs. This is where I'm supposed to be going. I don't think I got to this room before. So let's call it a video here. When we come back next time, I won't talk about Star Wars breasts. Probably. See you then.